welcome in everybody here to East Texas tonight on East Texas Now. I do hope you are having a fantastic evening and welcome in. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kylie Neal. I will be with you guys up until 11 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started here and let's take you to the zoo, specifically Caldwell Zoo. Here's Paul Swen. Joining us today is Paul Swen, the Director of Marketing and Communications for Caldwell Zoo. If those of you who know him, but those of you that don't, Paul spent more than 25 years as a photographer and motion picture director, and since joining the zoo in 2018, he's been helping tell the stories behind one of East Texas's favorite attractions. He's also passionate about wildlife conservation and even leads African safari tours. I've got to hear more about this, so Paul, thanks for being here. I want to know a little bit more about your life and your backstory.
Well, I started shooting pictures in college. I went to UT in Austin, and I had some amazing professors there who kind of got me started, and that led to a lot of travel around the world and taking pictures for some major organizations, a lot of Fortune 100 companies, stuff like that, a lot of tourism. And then I had a wild hair in 1998 and went on a solo safari. And since then, I've had a love of all things wild and trying to protect them.
So what do you think led you to East Texas?
Well, I did a lot of work with other conservation programs and zoos. And the Caldwell Zoo, through mutual contacts, we connected. And there were a lot of really big plans at the time going on at the Caldwell Zoo. So we joined forces, and we've been bringing those plans to life.
Nice. Well, I know we kind of briefly talked about it, but before the zoo, you spent more than 25 years as a photographer and motion picture director. Tell me a little bit more about what that part of your career was like.
So that is, both of those are forms of storytelling, right? One you can hang on your wall, put in a magazine, and one you need to watch on, back then, a television or a screen, now anything. And so I studied photography and did that, and then I went into the motion picture business and had to work my way up from the very bottom of the bottom.
I bet that was hard.
And eventually got the skills I needed, and so I opened my own studio in 1993.
Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun, too. But I know there was a lot of steps along the way. So when did the step of Caldwell Zoo come about for you?
So that connection was in 2018. So I had done a number of projects, zoo-related, wildlife-related, and so a consultant who had seen some of my work with the Houston Zoo met with me, and we exchanged kind of experience. And then I was introduced to Hayes Caldwell, who was the director at the time. And we started doing work together at the zoo to kind of, there's a lot of big plans underway. And so the communications had to catch up to those plans, right? And so we started then and all through 2019, and a big moment happened just last year when the new section of the zoo opened. So the Amazon River's Edge opened, and it shows where the zoo is going.
Yeah,
it shows
does.
Beauty and conservation and pulling the messaging all together. So we really have been working to get the zoo there, brand-wise, communications-wise, everything united to tell a really good story.
Well, kind of dipping into the communication side of it, for those that don't know, what does the Director of Marketing Communications do at a zoo? Because, you know, some people think, oh, you might send emails, you might just what is the Director of Marketing and Communication at a zoo do specifically?
Well, a lot of it is sharing the important work being done, because zoos, most of them, including Caldwell Zoo, is a nonprofit. So community support is extremely important. We need to be doing work that the community values. So the Caldwell Zoo has been doing conservation work almost since it's opened, for decades and decades and decades. And really, in some areas, is a leader in the world in some of the conservation that's being done right here. Nobody knew that. So one is kind of shaping the brand to share that messaging that it's about conservation, it's about family, it's about giving something to the community of Tyler to make this a wonderful place to live. So the communications team has to get all of that out
Yeah.
to the different audience and share what's important and share the great work that's being done every day.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know it's Monday, but I have to ask, what does a typical day look like for you? Kind of just run us through your day. What did you do today? You know.
So there's a lot going on. The zoo is really working 24 hours a day.
Okay.
So there are people there working at all hours because the animals need to be taken care of, they need to be fed, and meals need to be prepped. With 3,000 animals, that's a lot of meals that has to happen
Yeah.
every day. So there's a lot of work. With that many mouths to feed and that many animals, they all have different care. So part of it is really good communication. Is an animal pregnant? Are they expecting? Or is a baby born? I mean, we had babies born in the middle of the winter last year, and the keepers had to find them and make them safe. So there's has to be communication between the animal keepers, the vet staff, my team, because if there is something important, one, we need to cover it, we need to share it, we need to also get messaging out to the community that it's a beautiful day to go to the zoo and come see the new stuff. So our day starts with a lot of communication and then packaging that information in a way that's as alluring as possible.
So you're saying a communicator is communicating.
Yes.
Isn't that funny? Funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the job itself?
Working with the
You
teams.
can't tell me you don't talk to the animals every once in a while.
You
just get a wild hair and start talking to them?
I mean, there's some. Come on, there's some great animals there. There's a lot. I'll give you an example today.
Okay.
We needed to draw blood from the rhino.
Oh gosh.
Okay, and the rhino is a black rhino, one of the critically endangered.
Okay.
Very few left.
All right.
And
Is he a nice rhino?
Well, black rhinos are notoriously not nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
White rhinos.
And you had to draw blood from.
No,
from
I
the
was
not
just
nice
there.
rhino.
I was just there. That is the keepers
Okay.
and the vets.
My hands are starting to sweat. I'm not doing okay.
But,
Getting
you
nervous.
know, good 4,000 pounds, fully awake. And because of the care and the training the keepers and the vet staff have done with the rhino, he walked right up. They cleaned his front leg. They poked him. They filled up several vials of blood. He didn't move. He got his favorite treats, all because for months and months and months the team had been working with him to get him comfortable.
Oh, I think I would have just had a little panic attack in the corner.
Well, he was getting sweet potatoes. He was happy as he could be, and he just stood there. And they did a great job. And now we have blood, so we can make sure he's healthy.
All right.
That kind of work is happening all the time.
Remind me to keep sweet potatoes in my purse. Well, if you get to work around these incredible animals, and obviously didn't really know that there was a black rhino who likes sweet potatoes, but now I do. All
Yep.
right. Do you have a favorite animal that's at the zoo?
Oof. I'm a huge fan of elephants.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of cheetah.
I love it. Elephants. Giraffes are actually my favorite, though.
Giraffes are pretty dang cool too. So the nice thing is with this large of an animal family, there's a lot of personalities,
Yes.
right? For instance, there's Sprinkles, the African penguin, who's just a darling. Some are shy. Sprinkles, not so much. Keanu, the black rhino, I've worked with white rhinos before, which
Okay.
are more friendly. That a black rhino's that big of a joy is kind of a treat. And then Mac and Amonte, the African elephants, and seeing them play in their pool and just have a big time. I mean, come on.
That's awesome. That's actually really cool that you get to be around so many different animals, and it's just really, really fun. So after we kind of covered the favorite animal, let's talk about how Caldwell Zoo is known for conservation. Why is, that mission so important to you personally?
Well, having gone to spent a lot of time in the wilderness, when you get to see animals in the wild free and being as they've always been, you just feel lucky
Yeah, I
that
bet.
that exists. And so my heart was pulled pretty hard to do everything I can to help protect that. And as most people will know, mankind has a lot to do with it, with farming, with taking away land. Back in the day, a lot of poaching, still some poaching. So to do everything we can to protect the wilderness and let animals be free and wild, that's a big part of what zoos actually do.
Yeah.
Because people get to come and see these animals, for one thing, and connect with them.
Yeah.
But more importantly, zoos, good zoos like the Caldwell Zoo, are doing amazing work in breeding endangered species,
Yeah, which is much needed.
which is terribly needed, right? And so, by the work that's being done here, you can protect the future. And I'll give you an instance: the African cheetah, a very big cat, but they're also amazingly gentle in the wild. Like hyenas
Really?
pick on them, leopards pick on them, lions pick on them. And it takes a lot of energy for them to hunt and a lot of energy to raise their cubs. And they have gone, their numbers in the wild have just dropped in the last 20 years. And they're a very shy and very sensitive cat. And here in Tyler at the Caldwell Zoo, a special center was built just to breed them. And they need everything just right. I mean, they need everything. You'll be glad to hear that the ladies actually pick the male. So males
All
have
right,
to
my
be.
kind of ladies.
That's right. They had the males have to be brought in. They have to be introduced in this perfect way. They have to have all the room, all the peace and quiet to breed.
It's their way or the highway.
Their way or the highway. And Caldwell Zoo, their team has studied these cats for so long. They're one of the best breeding facilities in the world.
Wow.
And I think
awesome.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the African safari tours. I know
Okay.
we got like a little bit of a tidbit in the first half, but tell me how it became a part of your life specifically.
So, being a photographer and filmmaker, I went over because it was a childhood dream. I had heard, the Serengeti and Ngorongoro Crater and these amazing places. So I wanted to see it. So I went on a solo trip with a friend of mine who was a guide and had an amazing time. And so from that point on, started exploring and documenting and shooting with a camera all sorts of wildlife. And then letting different conservation groups use that imagery. And then from that, to give back, I'd go on missions for conservation, so all over Africa, Borneo, Asia, Americas.
Wow.
And go in the bush and get footage to show how special these animals are and to get people, tug on the heartstrings a little bit and make people care.
Does it feel like one of those, when I was growing up, always, whenever I was watching something with my folks, it was always that commercial of dogs that, are needing the help. And it's just like, you know what commercial I'm talking about.
I do.
And it tugs on your heartstrings. Is that what you're talking about? Because, I donated every single time that ad popped up. And, I think every little bit helps to every single, whatever you're donating to, that sort of thing. But to see something so beautiful in person, I wish everybody could experience that.
That's what I do with safaris now. Is I've been there a lot. Every time's wonderful.
Yeah.
Every time. And when I might have a hint of what's around the corner, and we get there, and I see your face this first time you see an African elephant in the wild.
That's crazy.
It's
Amazing.
Your face lights up. Again, how lucky you are to see it, and for me to be able to share that with people.
Yeah, that's a different
pretty
feeling as well. That's really cool. Well, let's talk about your life outside the zoo. I mean, maybe you're not at, doing a safari, whatever it might be. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
I write.
Okay.
and I'm an old, but I'm still a triathlete.
Okay,
So
nice.
that takes up time. Those are my hobbies. I'm married. I got married in the south of France last year. That was
Wow.
lovely, I tell you.
Beautiful.
I have two great kids, and so I'm a dad and a husband and a gardener, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Well, what do you garden?
not very well, honestly.
Okay, because my
You know,
my plants are burned up. They caught on fire a few weeks ago. But that's just because of how hot it is out here.
right? No, you got to keep it. You know,
It's a learning process.
Keep some aesthetics at the house. You know, sooner or later it's gonna be cool. We have to
Okay.
sit by the fire and
Yeah.
grill.
Well, when you're not, doing what you do in your free time, hanging out with your family, your friends, your kids, whatever it might be, what do you hope every visitor takes away when they visit Caldwell Zoo?
Well, initially, I really want people to appreciate how lovely it is. It's such a non-commercial zoo. So much attention is spent on the grounds. It's absolutely stunning the amount of flowers and native grasses and just the beauty. You can go and just walk it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And then to appreciate that there's over 30 threatened or endangered species that live there. It tells you that this place is making a difference. For families, I think it's super fun. It's a great way to bond. It's a great way to make memories. Even young people having a little bit of a different date, it's nice to get out and experience something together. And knowing that just by visiting, you're making a difference.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, Paul, is there anything else you'd like to share with us tonight?
Oh my. Sometimes what we hear is, oh, I haven't been to the zoo in a long time. And I would like, please go. It's a really
It's
beautiful
different.
place.
Yeah.
For Tyler, which isn't the largest city in the world, to have this nice of a facility is really a gift. That's what I would say.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, you heard it here first. Paul, thank you again for joining us here on East Texas tonight. I'm sure we'll catch up with you at another date and time
Sure,
and get to talk
sure.
to you a little bit more
There's
about
a
the
lot
zoo.
of interesting people you can talk to.
Oh, I bet there's going to be some fun stories along the way.